Thank you for being here.
Of course.
It's amazing. Um, I was actually like getting my notes and stuff, so I know exactly what I'm talking about because I took a lot of notes
Okay, good.
in this. You look great.
Oh, thank you. I'm just like trying to adjust. It's like the opposite. Okay, there we go.
All right, so I want to be a little nosy and just, are you? Where are you from? Just stuff like that.
Okay. Are we like, is it started or we're
Yes, it started.
okay? So my name's Dana. I'm from Chicago. I moved to LA about 7 or 8 years ago. I've always had my career's always been in real estate. So I had a 16-year real estate career in Chicago, where I met Janet Mandell. She's one of my best friends who I now work with. This is
Hmm.
the Janet Mandell showroom behind me. Actually, just one of them. We have three locations: New York, Chicago, LA. So I met Janet, like I said, about 15 years ago. She's founded this business in 2018 in Chicago. In the
Wow.
meantime, I already lived in LA. Um, And she approached me and she said, I think I'm going to need to open a showroom in Chicago. I'm sorry, in LA. Would you want to run my LA showroom? And I said, absolutely. I've always loved fashion. So I thought it was definitely a nice transition for me. And I was at a point in my life where I really just wanted to work on passion projects, things that were, important to me and inspired me and motivated me. I just lost a light. um, so um, we opened our LA showroom in the fall of 2019. So just to give you a little bit of background, exactly what Janet Mandel is, it's a luxury rental showroom. So we curate some of the most elite pieces of clothing, shoes, bags, accessories, um, that are everything from, from the runway, current runway, all the way to um, amazing, rare, one of a kind archive pieces, which actually our niche. We kind of like to focus on vintage, like 90s, early 2000 pieces that are just kind of like one of a kind, hard to find, just unique pieces.
Hmm.
So here in LA, we work very closely with the celebrity stylist to help dress their clients for the carpet, parties, events, premieres, photo shoots, you name it. Um, we've
Wow.
wor- we've even worked with studios to, dress their cast for shows and whatnot too. So that's kind of
Okay.
the background.
Okay. Um, we'll actually get into that. Um, but I'm just out of curiosity. What inspired you to to get into fashion, to become a stylist?
So honestly, it kind of happened by default. I mean, I've always loved fashion, always. Since I was a kid, my mom was very chic, very stylish. So she always inspired me. Um, I just always kind of had a knack for for fashion. So I my dad kind of my dad was a businessman. He kind of discouraged me from like doing passionate things. He's like, you need to do something that's going to make you money. So that's kind of what I focused on when I went to college. I chose a major in finance. Reluctantly, I knew it wasn't what I really wanted to do, but I was like, okay, I got to pay the bills. So I got a degree in finance. And like I said, I pursued a real estate career, which I actually really love. And in fact, I have my California license as well. I'm just
Okay.
not utilizing it at the moment. Um, but fashion has just always been ingrained in me. And not to give my age away, but the 90s, like mid 90s, that Tom Ford for Gucci, when he came out with that 95 collection, I think that's when I really fell in love with fashion. Um, but back in, when I was in my 20s, I couldn't afford to buy the designer stuff. So now that it's, I'm at a different place in my life and I'm able to source um, the vintage, all those items that, from the 90s, early 2000s, couldn't really afford that I loved. It's kind of just been like, it's like a challenge to find these items. Um, and especially when you can find them at a really good price, because now, unfortunately, thanks to COVID and the whole TikTok movement, a lot of people are catching on to like the vintage pieces.
Hmm.
Um, so now they're becoming more expensive, harder to find. So I kind of find it like it's a challenge to me to
Hmm.
like scour, source. There's so many different places that you can find these pieces, but you also have to know what you're looking for. So it's to me, it's fun. And especially when I find a piece and I'm like, wow, this is like a rare piece, from the Dolce& and Gabbana 2000 collection. And I just got it for like $150. And I can
Hmm.
resell it for like 4,000. Or this is one thing that we've been doing at Janet Mandell is we've been encouraging people, our clients, stylists, to give us access to their closets. Um,
Oh,
and then they can consign with us. So if they have amazing pieces, like I have my own collection of amazing pieces, so I've been consigning them at Janet Mandel. So I split the profits with Janet. So I make money, and I get to keep my items. I'm not selling them. I'm like collecting, and then I can make money from them
okay.
as well. So it's kind of fun.
Okay. Turn a passion into a lifestyle.
Exactly, exactly. So not only do I work here, and I get to work with amazing stylists, amazing clients, celebrities, whatnot. But then I'm also, like I said, doing my own collecting and making money off of it too. So making money from my hobbies and my passions.
Okay. So staying on that, right? How would you describe your styling philosophy and what defines your approach to it?
My styling philosophy, honestly, like I just wear what I like. I dress for myself. I don't dress for a man. I don't dress for another woman. I dress for me. I like
Mm.
to wear things that make me feel comfortable, confident, sexy. Um, I mean, I don't know if you can relate to this, but I know my friends and I do. Like, if we're wearing something that just we're not feeling it, it kind of like can put you in a bad mood. It can like it affects your mood. It's weird. Um,
Right.
just things that just make me feel good. Um, and just make me feel like confident, sexy, stylish. That's kind of my philosophy when it comes to wearing clothes.
Okay. Do you have like quote unquote like go to essentials like for different occasions or locations or
I mean, I'm definitely like a jeans and a t-shirt kind of girl. Like my favorite, my go-to, I only wear vintage Levi's. They're my absolute favorite. Uh,
for
yeah, comfort. They're broken in. They're like just the wash is perfected. I love a vintage Levi's. I like basics, like just classics, white t-shirt, black t-shirt, pink
mm,
tops. um, cute, some comfy heels, cute boots, a oversized leather jacket, some oversized leather blazers. That's really my go-to, especially, like off duty. um, when I'm off duty, I like to just be comfortable. So even like cute little short, I like right now I'm into like shorts with boots and like an oversized either like jacket or blazer.
Okay.
So that's my go-to.
Okay. Now, it's a two-part question. So, how do you feel about fashion trends like now? And two, how do you like maintain a timeless wardrobe? I would say through like all the trends and all that.
I'm not really into trends per se. There might be certain pieces, like if they're trending at the moment, that I might um, kind of like get into. Typically, if it's trendy, I don't invest a lot of money into it. Um, but I'm so good at just finding if I find something I really want, I'm so good at just like searching, sourcing, and finding it at a really good price. But I tend to just lean towards the classics,
Mhm.
um, vintage. Vintage is my go-to. So I really like I keep referencing 90s, early 2000s. I just think that a classic vintage piece never goes out of style. So uh,
Mhm.
if I'm going to invest money, I'm going to invest it in that because not only um, is it's a good investment, and you can actually, I've sold pieces for, 3 to 4 times like what I've paid.
Mhm.
So I can make money, um, and or if I wanna just, like I said, collect it, it's just gonna be a timeless piece that honestly never goes out of style. Like, I like to wear a lot of black. I just think black is chic. I tend to only wear neutrals. And this is when me personally, when I'm buying for myself personally from my own closet, what I wear. Um,
Mhm.
I just stick with basics and I stick with neutrals and classics. So um, I guess that's more my philosophy.
Okay. So, this is what I actually wanted to get to. You mentioned it earlier on. But how did, because you said Jeanette Mandel is your friend, but how did like the collaboration part came about? Or no, like what drew you to work with her? I mean, her brand.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you the background. So, like I mentioned, Janet and I have been friends for about 15 years. We met in Chicago when I still lived in Chicago through mutual friends, and we became fast friends because we have a lot in common. Um, I mean, to this day, aside from working together, we still like travel together and see each other a lot. So she has, like myself, always been a fashion lover. She's been collecting for years. Um, and she actually was one of the original fashion bloggers when they were called bloggers back in the day, and going back to like 2011, 2012. So she started in this fashion industry, as a blogger, just because, it was something she was passionate about. Um, she kind of honestly, it was just a way to show off her amazing wardrobe.
Mhm.
So that's how she started. Did a lot of networking that way in the Chicago community. And because she did have such a fabulous closet, a lot of her friends including myself, we're always asking to borrow her pieces. We're like, oh, I'm going on a vacation. Can I borrow that, Chanel tote? Or I'm going, to an event. I need a dress. Janet, you have the most amazing pieces. So a lot of her friends were borrowing her stuff, and her husband at the time, they're since divorced, but her husband at the time, half kidding, half not kidding, said, "You need to start charging." She's like, "You know what? That's actually a really good business idea." So she
Mm,
did her due diligence, did a lot of research, um, and decided to start a luxury rental business. So at the time, to have a showroom in Chicago,
mhm.
just catering to the women in Chicago that maybe they're going to a gala or an event and they need a dress for the occasion. So
Okay.
she opened Chicago Spring 2018. And within a few months, through the power of social media, Instagram specifically, a lot of the stylists here in LA, we're landing on our Instagram page and finding these, you know, pieces. So they were DMing us and they were like, "Where did you find this amazing, vintage Chanel jacket? I need it for my client." And our first celebrity client happened to be Gigi Hadid, and she wore one of our black Chanel vintage jackets. And from there, so we were shipping stuff back and forth, Chicago, LA. It just got to be too much work because the demand was just really picking up. And so that's when Janet approached me because I lived in LA,
Mhm.
and she was like, "I think I'm going to need to open a showroom there. Like, I'm getting so many requests. It's the shipping back and forth is too much. Like, they need to see what we have." So I said, "Absolutely," because like I mentioned earlier, I've always loved fashion. Um, and I was in a place where, I could financially pursue a passion. And so I said, let's. So in the fall of 2019, we opened our LA showroom. So
Wow,
here we are.
that's a pretty cool story. So you said you have 3 locations now, right? Chicago, LA, and
Yes,
New York?
New York. And then we opened New York summer of 2023. We're
Okay.
yeah.
Wow. Um, we'll get into the traveling part because that's something that's dear to my heart.
Uh-huh.
So I'm keeping that one. But what has been your favorite piece or collection?
Oh God. Well, I mean, I know I mentioned, Tom Ford for Gucci 95. That's honestly what made me fall in love with fashion, like really fall in love. I just think Tom Ford can do no wrong. Anything he did for in the Gucci era was just like incredible. We have so many pieces from the Tom Ford Gucci era that I'm just obsessed with. In fact, I pulled this just to show everyone. This is one of my favorites.
Wow,
It's just
that's beautiful.
yeah, a snakeskin bag with some crystal details. So this is one of my favorites. But we have so many clothing items from that era. So that's one of my favorites. I love Dolce and Gabbana, the 2000 collection. I love when Stella McCartney was designing for Chloe in
Mhm.
1999, 2000. That's just one of my favorites from back in the day. Um, 90 Chanel Karl Lagerfeld. I mean, can't go that's actually what I'm wearing right now. This is all vintage Chanel that I have on from the Karl Lagerfeld
Good.
collection. Anytime we post, people just love Chanel. They just love it. I don't know what it is. So anytime we do like a post on Instagram or like it just, people just love it. So Chanel you can't go wrong with Chanel. It's just
Okay. Can't
and
argue
then
with that.
Gianni Versace, like that. There's just so many, but those are just some of my favorites.
Okay. And have you came across designers or other stylists that just, I don't know, different views or different approaches, but just caught your attention, for example, or just wowed you?
Yeah, I mean, I've honestly, like I said, I've loved fashion for decades, but since I've been working here and working with Janet and working alongside a lot of the top stylists in the country, um, that dress some of the, biggest A-list celebrities, I've honestly learned so much about fashion and just all the different brands and the different collections and seasons and um, you know every stylist has a different personality, all of their clients are different. So yeah, I mean, I've learned so much just about like working with different body types and what styles people like and what styles work for people. And um, sometimes when people come in, they have an idea, they think they know what they want until you start talking to them and then getting to know them and their personality, and then they might leave here with something completely different than what they had in their mind.
Hmm.
So um so yeah, working with different all these different types of people just inspires you in different ways.
Okay, that's pretty cool. And that's the last one actually on this one. Walk me through what's a typical day for you.
It's funny you mentioned that because we were just talking, like, every day is different. That's kind of what I love about
Uh,
this job, is because every day is different. And, depending on, and every stylist, specific stylist has, multiple clients. So one day they're coming in for, this client and they need a look, let's say for like press for a movie. So they need, specific looks. The next day or that same day, a different stylist is coming in and their client needs, a gown for a movie premiere. Um, and what's interesting, especially about our LA location, is that everything is last minute, right? There's, you could wake up and look at the calendar and be like, oh, there's not much going on today. Well, that doesn't usually hold true for very long because there's always a fashion emergency, someone getting invited to an event at the last minute. That's actually another reason why this business is so amazing, because a lot of people do get last minute invitations and then they're freaking out because they don't have anything to wear. So they call us and they're like, I need help. I have to go somewhere tonight. I don't know what to wear, or I don't have anything. So, that's where we come into the picture. So that's always helpful. But yeah, every day is different. And I think that's what I really like about it, because it's definitely not boring. Um, and
yeah.
fashion is ever evolving, ever changing. So it's never the same, which is great.
What's the craziest story you had so far?
I mean, it can be stressful. I'm making it sound glamorous. It's honestly really not glamorous, this business. Um, I mean, we have a lot of situations where, like, someone, maybe a stylist is fitting their client in Nashville, so we need to overnight items, and, dealing with UPS or FedEx, there's no guarantee with them. And the weather, there could be a snowstorm that affects things, or so getting stuff there on a timely basis. I'm trying to think of like a specific crazy example, like nothing's coming to my head at the moment. But it can be stressful because there's deadlines. Like I said, there's things that come up at the last minute. Deadlines we need, especially when you're shipping items. We have a lot. This happens a lot where people call us and they're like, I'm in New York, I need this dress. when you're looking at the clock and you're like, oh, we got to hurry because UPS comes at a certain time and that's the cutoff. So, it's stressful, but it also, again, that keeps things moving. It keeps things exciting. But it's stressful too because you want the item to get there in time. You want the client to be happy. Um, so that I'm trying to think of a specific crazy example. I mean, we had one time we do deal with like I call them regular people that just and rent something just for like an occasion, like a wedding or whatnot. So we had a girl come in that rented one of our um, vintage Dolce gowns, which is extremely rare, and unfortunately, she destroyed it.
Oh wow.
Yes. And her story, we're like, it was destroyed. Um, we were all very, very, very upset because this is such an amazing piece. Um, she claimed someone stepped. They had a little bit of a train, so she claimed someone stepped on it, but it was beyond that. So
Hmm.
we had to charge her for the item, obviously, but unfortunately, we were never able to find that dress again. I mean, it doesn't exist. So that's unfortunately one of the things that happen is that that's how rare our items are. That it's not about just because they sign an agreement with us that says like if anything happens to the dress that we can charge them 3 times the value, but sometimes it's not about the money because we can't even get that dress ever again because that's how rare, and that's what makes these pieces so special because they're so incredibly rare and hard to find. Yeah.
Yeah. Talking about crazy. Yikes.
Yeah, so yeah. But as far as like, I don't know, like a crazy story, we have them I mean, there's always it's never a dull moment here. I'm telling you, it's never dull.
Okay. That's great. Safe to say you're not bored.
Definitely not bored. No.
Okay.
So even when
Still,
we have downtime, I mean, there's times like summer for us is typically slow because people are traveling a lot. There's not a lot of events going on, especially in LA. But there's always something to do. Like we're constantly like, looking to find new items. So, aside from the styling, there's a lot just logistics, thing to consider. There's, purchasing and um, just there's so many aspects to this business. It's more entailed than just, oh, trying on pretty dresses and, there's a lot that goes in. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
it's great that you say that because not everybody knows that.
Yeah, I mean,
Work
you
ethic.
think of fashion, you think of, glamour, and, people tell me, they're like, "Oh my god, you're so lucky you have the best job," and I do, like, I love this, it's so fun, it's a great fit for me, but it can be a lot of work, it can be demanding, um, but I love it. It's all good.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome. And speaking of all of that, how do you, obviously with your work,
I think the camera froze.
how do you maintain a little work-life balance between all of that?
Well,
It for a little.
That's a great question because, like I said, I'm at a different point in my life, and this is a passion project. So I do make time for myself. Like I I work out every day. There's definitely I don't let this consume my whole life. uh,
Mm.
I make time for travel. I make time for friends, family. Um, and like I said, working out is really important to me. So I make sure I do that every day. I have my little puppy.
Oh,
She comes with me everywhere. Um, she's our little mascot. And then, like parlaying into travel, like I know you mentioned you like to travel, like we make it, we turn a work trip into fun. Like we go to Italy and we go shopping, and that's what's great about working with one of your best friends is that, you get to do the work and fun thing at the same time.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's really great. What are your favorite destination?
Just for me personally, or yeah.
Just for you.
I mean, I love Paris. I would say that's always at the top of my list, for many reasons. It's such a beautiful city. The fashion's amazing. The people watching's incredible. I mean, I could just spend when I go to Paris, I honestly don't like to have a plan. I like to just wake up, just start walking, stop at a cafe, like, you know, have a glass of champagne, order some frites, like people watch, keep walking, maybe have walk in a certain direction, have a destination in mind, but kind of just like stop at different cafes along the way and go shopping and eating. And I honestly I don't like to have a plan while I'm there. I don't like to have dinner reservations. I just like to go like morning to night and just explore and just get lost in the city really. Like that's my favorite thing to do. Um some of my other favorite destinations, like I love St. Bart's. Again, it's that French flair. So maybe that's one reason I like that. But it's just such a beautiful island. The weather's amazing. The water's beautiful. Um, Italy is one of my favorites. Food, it has it all: food, fashion. I mean, the people are beautiful. So that's always a go to. And then when I'm, in the States, I'm a city girl. I'm from Chicago. Now I live in LA. I love New York. I love Miami. Um, so those are kind of like my favorite destinations. And then, like if I need just like a quick getaway, it's easy from LA to get to Cabo. So that's always like a fun little like long weekend trip. Yeah.
Now, if you could go anywhere in the world, I'll say top three. Where would you go?
Oh, top 3. I definitely wanna go to Japan. I hear there's amazing shopping, amazing vintage. I heard there's so I'm dying to go to Japan. Would like to turn that into a work trip. Um, where else do I wanna go? Gosh, there's so many places. Um,
Japan is nice. Yeah.
yeah, have you been?
No, I want to go to Tokyo so bad.
Yeah, I'd love to go there. And then China's supposed to have some good shopping too. I mean, the Asians
Yeah.
are just like they know fashion, they love labels, they love luxury. So I feel like there's so many little treasures, especially in Japan. So I'm really dying to go there just for the shopping alone. Um, and then besides that, I'm trying to think like where I don't know, I've just honestly been so busy lately, we've been trying to connect for so long, my schedule's been, like, crazy, so thank you for dealing with my crazy schedule, but haven't haven't really thought about travel in a hot second, just because 'cause I've been so busy.
Really,
Yeah,
Japan is a good one. That
yeah. I also you know what, I haven't been to Dubai, um, so I would like to go there too and experience that, so between Japan, Dubai, um I would say those are probably my top 2 destinations at the moment.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's your favorite travel memory? But something that has maybe impacted your creative process.
Um, favorite travel memory, gosh, I feel like I have a lot. I'm fortunate I've been able to travel a lot. Um, For a while, I was doing a lot of traveling with my family, um,
Mhm.
in Europe and also South Africa. I think that's standing up at the top of my head, our South African trip where we traveled as a family. We went to Cape Town and Johannesburg, and we did a couple safaris, which it was honestly amazing, and that's a destination when I would love to go back to because it was just so beautiful, and I mean, there's nothing like it. There really isn't. So that trip, I think, is probably at the top of my list,
Mhm.
as far as like memories and the impact. I don't know. It's just such a beautiful place. Um, and then I had my first, like European travel experience with my family. We went to London and Italy, and that just because of the nostalgia and like memories with with my family. So
Mhm.
that's at the top of the list too. And then I've had so many fun trips with like friends um, that just were like wild and crazy, and you know just
Yeah.
left an imprint on my brain.
I think it's important. Do you feel like it's important to travel?
I mean, yes. Even just living in LA and, I went down to Orange County, over the weekend. Just like leaving LA, it's nice to just get out of your, immediate surroundings and just experience something, a little bit different. So I like that's the beauty about living in, Southern California. There's so many great destinations that you can even drive to. But as far as travel, absolutely, it's important to travel. I mean, just to experience different cultures, food, language, um,
Language.
landscape. I mean, it's it can be inspiring and just open your eyes to things that you didn't even know existed, and broaden your horizons.
That is true.
Yeah.
Do you speak any other language?
Unfortunately, no. I mean, I guess you could say I speak a little bit of Spanish, uh,
Okay.
but no. And I was taking some French lessons just because I love Paris so much, but yeah, that didn't that didn't last very long.
That's actually it's I do speak French. It's actually my first language.
Oh, amazing. I love that.
Mhm.
Do you get to travel to France a lot?
I did, yeah, a lot. Um,
Nice.
Belgium before, Italy too. I've traveled. So when I saw that you love traveling, I was like, oh, let's talk about it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I
mean,
do love traveling. I
what's
haven't had a chance to like, excuse me,
I said, "What's not to love?"
right? That's right. So many beautiful places.
So many.
But question for you: what advice would you give to someone who aspiring stylist who wants to break into the fashion industry?
So what I know now over the I've been doing this, I don't know, 5 or 6 years.
Hmm.
If someone is really passionate about being a fashion stylist, like a stylist to the stars, I recommend, well, obviously going to like a fashion school, but um, contact the top stylists. Just it's easy to find on Instagram now. Like who are your favorite celebrities? Find out who their stylists are, or whose style do you love? Find out who their stylist is, contact their stylist, and ask if you can do an internship with them. They're always, always, always looking for interns. That could lead to being an assistant. And then within a couple years, you, from what I've seen, you will have your own celebrity clientele within a few years if you do it right. And if you're a hard like I said, this my hat goes off to stylists. It's a hard job. They really work hard, you know? So it's, not like I said, it's gritty. It's not gonna be glamorous. Um, Especially in LA, these stylists, they're driving all over LA, hitting up all these different showrooms, collecting items, for their client fittings. So, they're carrying. It's a physically demanding job. So, like if you work for one of us top stylists, and really someone with a really good work ethic, and that
Mhm.
really shows you how it's done and done in the right way, you can be successful. So I recommend starting off as an intern, becoming an assistant, and then you'll be good to go after a few years.
Okay. Okay. And I think you kind of answered this, but two questions and kind of like one. How important is to be or actually, how important is versatility in fashion? And
Versatile.
mhm,
Okay. Well, it's extremely important because, first of all, it's not about what, like when I'm styling someone, it's not what I like, right? It's about what is going to work for them, their body, um, what's going to make them feel confident. So also, so there's that aspect. And then also, like, you might have a vision, um, or direction based on, like, oh, let's say you're doing a photo shoot and the direction is, white, flowy gowns. And
mhm,
then within, like maybe the day before or even the day of, they change the direction, like the creative team changes the direction. So you have to be able to, think quickly and change the options. So you have to be versatile with that, right? You can't just be like, you got to kind of think outside the box sometimes, or you're just given inspiration, like, here's my inspiration, put a look together for me. So
okay,
yeah.
okay. Um, these are questions that I love asking. Just that's more for me
Hmm.
as well. But before I even get to that, I just thought about something when you were just explaining this. Um, have you ever thought about like modeling and all that? Have you ever done that?
Me, no. No. I well, first of all, I'm too old for that. I was approached, I've been approached a few times for modeling, but I honestly am not very comfortable in front of the camera. I like to be more behind the scenes kind of girl. Um,
Okay.
yeah, it's I do feel like, modeling and fashion go hand in hand. So uh, I see, I can understand why you asked that question, but no, I mean, no, modeling wasn't anything I was ever interested in pursuing. Yeah.
Okay. So, I wanted to know, what does resilience means to you?
Resilience. Resilience, I guess to me that just means, just keep going, don't give up, like persevere. There's going to be challenges, there's going to be bumps along the way, but you just have to work through it and keep going. That's really
I
it.
like that.
I mean, it's you have a choice, keep going or give up, right? I just always I always choose the keep going way, or you're going to have some detours or some roadblocks, but you just muscle through it or come up with some options and get it done. Keep going.
Okay. I like that. And I like it a lot. And how do you define happiness?
I mean, I'm just innately a happy person. Um, it's a choice. Obviously, everyone has obstacles in their life they need to overcome, and you can be like, woe is me, or you can just be like, okay, this is life. It is what it is, and just, you know, like I said, be resilient, keep going. But you just have to, happiness is a choice. You're allowed to have moments of sadness. Obviously, people are human, but then you got to pick yourself up and just keep going. It's like I said, it's a choice. It's who you surround yourself with. Um, I'm lucky to have amazing friends and a great family. Um, you know, it's not always that way. Sometimes there's some, toxic people that come into your life. You have to, make a decision. And if they're not right for you, you just kind of have to let them go. But yeah, happiness is just doing the things that, um, you know, f- fill you up and inspire you and motivate you every day. And um, yeah, just make good choices, really. And then I feel like if you make good choices, you're going to be happy.
That is true.
Yeah.
I like that.
And everyone makes, we don't always make the right choice, but then you have to just, process it and just take it as a learning experience.
I like that. I like that a lot. So, wow. I think this is the longest I've had since I started this, which is great. So
Mhm.
at the end of every single um, episode that I do, which is actually how I got connected to you,
Mhm.
I always say to keep the dream going, I need you pretty much, but in a different way, I would say. So based on the conversation we've had, um, I would say, just trying to inspire people overall to keep the dream going. Who do you think? And obviously, no pressure. You don't have to tell me now, but who do you think would make a great guest for my next one?
I can think of a few people. I don't,
But
I'm not going to reveal it at the moment, but I'm
no,
thinking, I have a few people in mind.
you don't have to. But that's pretty much how I keep the dream going and how I got to you. And this was great. This was
Good.
really good. I just wondered, do you have anything else you want to add? Maybe actually something that's coming up that you may want people to know.
Um, I don't know. There's just, so many great things happening here at Janet Mandell. We're actually getting ready for like a big luncheon with an iconic designer named Bob Mackie. He was a huge designer for Cher, like back in the 70s. She used to wear all of his items, and he just released a documentary. And we are fortunate enough to be hosting a luncheon here for him at our showroom. You can't see it now, but we actually have a outdoor courtyard it's really cute. So we're going to be having the luncheon there. And then after that, we're actually just like gearing up for awards season because um, we have like People's Choice Award coming up in November, which that's soon, and one of the country music awards, and then we have the luncheon for Bob, and then it's the holidays, and then as soon as the new year starts, award season kicks off with the Golden Globes, and then we are going to be so busy through the Oscars, which is at the beginning of March. So that's kind of like what we have coming up. That's our obviously our busiest time. I mean, like we are just it's a constant revolving door. I mean, it's crazy here, but it's fun, and then it's rewarding too when you're watching the award show and you see someone get up and accept an award for an Oscar and they're wearing your dress. So that's, that's exciting. Or to see people on the red carpet, or um, I've been fortunate enough to get to go to the Elton John after party, and it's fun walking around, seeing clients that you dressed for the occasion. So it's rewarding and it's fun. So that's kind of like what's coming up for us.
It sounds like you really love what you're doing, which is great to hear.
Yeah, I mean, how can I not? I get to be surrounded. I mean, look at all these beautiful gowns behind. I'm wearing vintage. I mean, like, how can you not be happy and love it? So this is, it's my daily life. We have incredible clients that walk in the door. Um, so yeah, it's fun.
That's
But I did,
amazing.
but I did say it's a lot of work too. It's not. It's just not all glamour by any means.
At least you get to combine both, which is good.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I do. I do. I'm lucky. It's like it is. It's glamorous, and I've met some amazing friends, and actually Davina Potratz is the one that introduced us, and um, she's taken me to like some amazing events, and it's fun, getting dressed up and going to these events, and I get invited by a lot of our different clients to different parties that they're hosting, or if they need a plus one, they invite me. So it's fun for my personal life too. I've got to meet some amazing people who
Making me-
become my really really close friends. So that's been
That's
a
amazing.
nice, yeah, really nice.
That's
And then
amazing.
I get to
Wow.
wear these clothes.
I know. I know. Well, you look great, and thank you so much
Of
for this.
course, anytime.
I have a busy schedule, um, so I'm
I'm
just
glad you're
grateful for
finally able to pin down a day.
this. I know. I know. Yeah, I was really excited. This was really good. This was really really good. So I just wanted to say thank you because it's amazing. It's great. Great information. Great advice from you. Just great mind. Great soul.
Thank you. I enjoyed it very much.
All right.